I shouldn't like Jackass, but I do. I was never into skate culture growing up, although I did enjoy the odd skateboarding video game. I've never been much of a fan of prank shows, and I'm not one for gross out humour. I've never really enjoyed the punk ska scene that was around from the late 90s and the early noughties. So you'd think that Jackass is not for me. But I can't help but like the cast of the show and subsequent movies. Hello and welcome to the movies. My name is Jack, and I'm going to tell you why I like Jackass and give you a slight Jackass Forever review. There's just something to seeing those guys having a laugh and not caring about anything. It's weird really, because you'd think they'd be more on edge about some of the stunts they perform. I mean, some are legit scary, I think. Also, it sounds like shooting the movies, especially the first two, that you just couldn't let your guard down on set. We even see this with pranks played on Bam and Danger Erin. Think the snake prank on Bam, and Danger Erin is just constantly under it from everyone. There was even a question on Steve-O's podcast with Danger Erin about whether or not he felt he was bullied. From what I've heard in interviews from the cast, it was just expected that you'd be messed with on set. That has got to get draining. Being on alert constantly would really wear me down. So with all that said, why do I enjoy watching these guys be idiots for an hour and a half? Well, I think you've got to start with the captain, Johnny Knoxville. The guy's effortlessly cool and charismatic. Making him front and centre of the show was genius. From the way he introduces every movie and segment, to the way he eggs on his fellow cast members, and that manic laugh of his, you just can't help but like him. Right down to the odd fashion choices that for some reason just seem to work. He also hasn't seemed to let it all go to his head, certainly not from recent press junkets I've seen him on while promoting Jackass Forever. The guy was wearing 2-year-old Converse that were coming apart. Steve-O is another guy who I just can't help but like. It's strange because by all accounts he was terrible during the early run of the franchise, and he'll freely admit that. Since getting sober, the guy seems to have really turned his life around, and the story of how he adopted Wendy the dog is beautiful. If you've not seen that, I recommend you search Steve-O and Wendy the dog and just watch how beautiful that coming together was. I've been watching his podcast Wild Rides with Steve-O for a couple of years now, and I think that Steve-O is on top of his game right now. Coming away from Jackass Forever, it was a strange feeling. I'd watched these idiots, these fools, these jackasses for 2 decades now. I had my reservations for the new film. Are they too old? Will they rely on new cast members too heavily? Will it be watered down? I have to say, I think it's one of the best movies they've done. Certainly up there with Jackass number 2. I laughed the whole way through, and it was crazy to see them taking on bigger stunts than previously. Pontius was hilarious as always, and a special shout out to his performance when the lights went out during that one prank. All the guys really brought it on this one, and I really liked the new cast members who were all game. I even thought Rachel Wolfson showed the guys up on one stunt and had a really funny moment with Pontius on another stunt too. The MVP of the movie though has to be Danger Erin. The guy always seems to be the brunt of the joke with these guys, and I honestly feel he got it worse in this movie once again. I'm sure he did most stunts in this one, and he gets tricked on more than a few occasions. As I mentioned earlier, I came away with a strange feeling after Jackass Forever. A lot of the stunts are repeats from past stunts but done bigger and bolder. The credits use a lot of footage from previous movies, especially the first one, and even some from the TV show, and it made me feel old, seeing how these guys have grown up, or not, in the past 20 years, and it made me think of what I had done with my life in that time. Jackass Forever is certainly a movie for the millennial generation. What do you think of Jackass and the latest movie? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like more from Welcome to the Movies, then make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.